Okay, hi boys and girls. Let's jump straight in. This is lesson 4, bubble 3. Let's go for it. So there's not any text to read before you get to the do this section. Let me change my mouse. I really like this one. It says write code that makes an orange ellipse behind the green one. Now we talked about that in the last lesson. When you want to, code runs from the top to the bottom. That's how a computer program runs. It starts with the first command, then it does the next one, then the next one, then the next one, until you get to the end, the bottom. So remember, any shape that's at the top of the code gets drawn first, and then other shapes down below get drawn on top of that shape. Okay, so the ones at the top are going to be in the background. The ones at the bottom are going to be on top, the ones closest to your eyes. That makes sense. So, okay, it says don't worry about the exact size as long as the green ellipse is entirely inside the orange. Okay, so you can see in the code, we already have a green ellipse and it looks like this. Now we want to draw an orange ellipse in the background, which means we're going to put it above the green ellipse in the code. So we want the orange one to be drawn first, then the green one, so it's on top, right? Okay, so we're going to drag out a fill block right there, and we're going to change that to orange. And then we're going to drag out an ellipse block. We're going to sandwich it right there underneath the first fill block, but above the second fill block, because we want it to say, okay, fill, and then draw the ellipse. Okay, so draw the orange ellipse, then lines 3 and 4, draw the green ellipse. Pretty easy, right? Now let's see what this looks like. Well, I mean, let's not change any of the numbers until we see actually what it looks like. Let's see what we have to change. Okay, so we want the orange ellipse to be a little bit taller than it is in this picture right now, and a little narrower, a little less wide. So we want the width to be, now but the center of the ellipse looks perfect, right? The orange ellipse is centered. Just like this one, they both share the same center, but they're just shaped differently. So let's take the width of the orange one. Remember, we want to squeeze it down a little bit. So let's say that's, and now look at the width of the green one. It's 200. So we want the orange one to be a little bit wider. So let's say this needs to be 250. Let's say something bigger. And then we want it to be as tall. Let's see. Let's run it. Let's only change one number. We only changed this one to 250. Let's see what it looks like. That looks pretty good to me, although this one isn't, the orange ellipse isn't as tall as this one. So let's take the height down a little bit. Let's make it, instead of 400, let's make it 300. See what happens. That looks pretty good. It's not quite exactly, I like to make it exactly like the picture as much as possible. And it said, don't worry about the size. So we're really done here. I'm just gonna play, I'm a perfectionist. So I'm gonna make this 325, reset it and run it. That looks good to me. That looks really a lot like this picture. So I'm satisfied. I'm gonna click finish and move on. Let's go to the next bubble. Okay, here we go, bubble 4. So it says background. Sometimes you'll want to fill the entire screen with the color. And for that, you can use the block that says background. So it's right here, background color. It covers everything on the screen with the color you choose. So run the code to see how it works. So we'll run it. So you can see that we have, okay, well, look, you can see in the code something's wrong because it says fill purple and a rectangle. So lines 1 and 2 are supposed to be drawing a purple rectangle, but do you see a purple rectangle up in here? I don't. Then it draws the background color, then it draws a blue rectangle, and we can see that blue rectangle. So you got to remember, boys and girls, code runs from top to bottom. Whatever's drawn at the top comes first, and then the other shapes go on top of that shape. So you can see in line 3, the background is going over the purple rectangle. So it says change the background from yellow to orange. So let's do that real quick. Let's change this to orange. And then it says challenge, there is a purple square that is covered up by the background. That's what I was just telling you, right? Because the background is drawn right here in line 3. And remember, the code goes top to bottom. So here's what the code is doing. It's drawing a purple rectangle in lines 1 and 2. Then it's drawing the background. So the background covers that purple rectangle. Then it draws the blue rectangle on top of the yellow background. So if you want to make the purple square show up, you have to have the background come first. It has to be at the top of the code. Then now the code will do this. It will draw the background. Then it will draw the purple square, lines 2 and 3. Then it will draw the blue square. So you'll be able to see both squares. Reset, run, voila. There you go. You got the purple square right there. Just showed up like magic, and the blue square with the nice orange background. Done. See you in the next video.